Hello and welcome to the Matrix Fitness live workout. It is Tuesday afternoon, it's 5 o'clock. It looks like the thunderstorms, I can hear them, and it looks like they're coming across the UK. So we're going to make the most out of this indoor workout, hopefully for you. If you haven't done a workout today, then we've got a really great workout for you. The first round of exercise is going to be strength focused. The middle, or the second focus is going to be then core. And then our third round is going to be focused on fitness work as well. So lots of exercises available for all different ranges, but a great conditioning workout. What we're going to do to begin with is just make sure you've got a bit of space set up around you. You've got a mat nearby, especially for that second round of exercises where we're going to be floor focused. And let's get you warmed up, ready to go through the exercises as well. So to begin with, just start to open up through the arms, start to create a little bit of mobility for the shoulders, start to stretch through the chest muscles and the back muscles a little bit more, just so we can start to create a little bit of freedom in the body. Now what we're going to do is just going to start to rotation. So just pivoting off the feet, rotating your elbows around about shoulder height. And as you start to rotate here, you're going to get some rotation into your hip and also through to your upper spine as well. This will just hopefully give you a little bit of range of movement and also help prepare you just for some of the movements that we're going to be doing as well during the workout. Okay, just loosen yourself up here. Let's just lower your hips down towards your heels, taking you into a little bit of a squat here. Doesn't have to be too deep at the moment, but just starting to bring that depth back into your body. So just lowering your hips down a little bit lower. As we go through the exercises today, we're going to be doing 45 seconds of work with 15 seconds recovery. So lots of different exercises that you can really push yourself in. And we will do each round, all 3 rounds, we will do twice, which means that you can then start to progress the exercises if you feel like you want to as well. Just take a large step back from me, lower the back knee down towards the floor, and then alternate through the legs as well. As you're doing this one, you're just creating a little bit of stability through the both feet, and then once your body weight is equal between both feet, lower the back knee down towards the floor, just so you can start to get that depth of range. One of our first exercises today is going to be a lunge position, and obviously the second exercise is one that we've already prepared you for, which is going to be the squat as well. So we'll just get you prepared a little bit further to get you ready for those exercises. Let's start doing that by getting your heart rate up. So imagine you've got a skipping rope. I just want you pushing off the floor, starting to get a little bit of work into the calves and into the feet. This will help you with some of the advanced exercises where you're going to start to challenge yourself with some pushing, jumping, and dynamic work as well. Let's just take that skip just from side to side. Excellent. And now what we'll do is just scissor those legs forwards and backwards. Again, just keeping the heart rates up, just preparing your body for pushing yourself as hard as you feel as if you're comfortable with. If you want to get after a little bit of fitness today, then this is a great opportunity to do that as well. Okay, let's take into some punching combinations. So really bring your hands up into a fighting stance. You're going to jab, cross, jab. We're going to jump 180 degrees and then again jab, cross, jab. As you're doing these movements, pivoting off your feet, throwing those punches around about head height, keeping the hands close to the side of the head. Trying to be as authentic as you feel comfortable to do. Just a jab, cross, jab, and then just rotate over to the opposite sides. Okay, just loosen up the body a little bit here. Let's get into some knee strikes to start to work through the hips dynamically. Pivot your feet over to one side for me. Arms reach high. Now drive your knee in a dynamic way around about chest to stomach height, and then we'll pivot over towards the opposite side as well. Now what we're looking to do here is to get your hips to drive into this big range of movement, and it will also help keep your heart rates up as well as we start to really prepare your body for the workouts that we're going to take you through. Keep this big movement going, pivoting your feet from side to side, just on the ball of the feet each time. And what we'll do now is take into some jumping jacks. So just taking your arms out to the side of the body. Now, if you want to push your heart rates up a little bit higher, then start taking your arms up over your head as well. That will push you a little bit further. Good work. Excellent. Okay, let's bring you into a little bit of a shake off there. Okay, the first exercise, let's take you through this. We're going to go down into a lunge position towards the floor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to push off the front foot, hop up, and then reset the foot back into that position. 45 seconds of work, starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So you push off the floor, with the front leg. And then lower the back knee down towards the floor. And as you're doing this one, you can see I'm using my arms in quite a big way. This will help me control my balance on the way back, but also create a little bit of momentum in a natural running position as I push off the foot. Now I'm just sticking on one leg. So just have a little think about which foot is forwards. And then when we come back around to doing this exercise again on our second circuit, we're just going to swap the legs. So just again, be mindful about which leg you're working on. Keep driving the knee up high. Keep focusing on that power output just for the last 5 seconds. And relax there, loosen your body up. Okay, the second exercise you're going to have a look at is a squat pulse with cross jump. Here's what it looks like. You lower your hips down towards the floor. You do a little pulse, and then you jump up into a cross position, and then reset back into the middle. In 3, 2, 1. So squat, pulse, cross your feet. Now on the next one, we're going to alternate the legs going in front of you. So what it means is you're switching your legs to which one is in front and which one goes behind. Now, an easier option for this one is just to pulse the squat without adding the jump in. But again, it's up to you how hard you want to make the exercise. If you want to make it even harder again, pick up the tempo. See if you can always stay ahead of me when I'm doing my repetitions. Keep your head up, keep your back straight, keep working as quick as you can, but with as best form as possible. And relax there. Okay, let's take you down to the floor. Now what we're going to do is get you into a press-up position. And we're going to do an exercise called a floor jack. So hands underneath your shoulders, into that press-up position, and you're going to jump your feet wide and narrow. Let's get you working for 45 seconds. Now if you can, keep this movement going. This is an easier option where you just tap your foot over towards the side. Now if being on your wrist is uncomfortable for you, feel free to go down to your elbow. Keep your eyes looking towards your hands. And you're trying to keep your quads and your glutes tight together. So you're trying to almost create a really strong plank position. So although we're starting to work through the upper body for stability, the core for a good engagement, the legs for a driving force, you really do get a good exercise all around the body on this one. And relax there. Okay, let's get your lunges set up. So this is the push-off lunge again. So now we'll be the opposite leg that pops up this time, okay? So remember which leg you did earlier, and we're going to push off onto the opposite leg. Starting 3, 2, off we go. So drive that knee up, reset into that deep lunge, and then push yourself over to the opposite side. Big dynamic movement. Use those arms again. Keeping the back straight. See if there's something just ahead of you that you can keep your eyes focused on. It might be the screen or the monitor. You might have been looking at a picture or a reflection in front of you. Just keep those big range of movements. Push yourself off the floor with as much high knee drive as possible. This is great. Come on, last repetition and relax there. Okay, second exercise again is our squat pulse cross jump. So here's the options. Just keeping a deep squat pulse is your regression if you would like to make it slightly easier. Or squat pulse, jump with your feet going an alternating position in front. Let's get you working. Squat, the pulse, cross the legs, keep the depth if you can. The depth is where the muscles really start to work. That will raise your heart rate and it will give you the conditioning through the front of the thighs as well. So just do as much work as possible. You can see I'm just bringing my arms out in front of me just to help counterbalance so that when my hips go back and down, my arms go in front to counterbalance. This stops me looking down towards the floor. Last 5 seconds. See if you can speed up your repetitions, just at least the last couple. And relax there. Great job. Now I'm going to grab my mat early because for these floor jacks, we're going to do this one last time and then we'll move into our floor focused exercise as well. So I'm going to start with my feet just off the mat, hands underneath the shoulders, up in a press up position, and jumping the legs wide and narrow. Keep your eyes looking in between where your hands are. If you're down on your elbows, because your wrists feel more comfortable in that way, that's absolutely fine. Look towards where your wrists are again. And to help keep your head in a good position, keep squeezing for your glutes and for your thighs. Just about keeping a good tempo going. If at any time you need to stop and rest, that's absolutely fine. Keep that speed up. Keep the tempo going. And relax there. Good job. Okay, let's get you to lie down on your backs for me. And we're going to do an exercise called a heel drop. It's one of my favorite core exercises to do. We're going to lie down, flat spine, knees directly above your hips, head resting onto the floor, and you're lowering one leg and then alternate. Let's get moving straight away. Good. Keep that range of movement going. Now, the longer your legs start to move, then the harder the exercise becomes. And that's because your legs are used as levers, so you start to challenge gravity a little bit more. Now, to make this exercise a little bit easier, keep a bend in your knee, so you're not lengthening your legs as much. So you can just keep that bend. That way the heel doesn't travel as far away from where the center of your mass, center of your body really is. So that's how you're going to make it slightly easier. If you want to make it harder, do both legs at the same time. That will challenge you even further. Okay, relax there. Next exercise, we're going to dig your heels into the floor. We're going to do an exercise called a glute bridge. So for this one, head, shoulders, and spine all rest on the floor. Push into the floor of your heels and your hips extend. Okay, so you're trying to push your hips up as high as they can. Now, if your mind starts to wander at any time, just come back to that thought of, have I got my hips as high as I can? Yes, as long as you're asking that question to yourself, your focus will be there, and your glutes will get the best workout, and you're going to be in a really good, safe spine position as well. It's a great exercise for preventing any lower back problems, and also if anybody who's ever had them before, great exercise just to keep good condition as well. So keep pressing those hips up high. You've got your hands and your back in contact with the floor. Every single time I lower my hips down, just resting just for maybe a slight pause, just to realign my spine, and then I extend back up again. Okay, relax there. Sit yourself up for me. The next exercise is a Pilates-inspired move called a boat pose. Now this exercise means that you're going to balance on your seat bones. So extend your arms out in front, lift your heels off the floor if you can. You can always rest them down again. And then from this position, extend out, and then bring yourself back into the center. Now, as I start to extend, my arms go wide, and then I bring myself back to the center. Now, the further you go back, that's going to make the exercise a little bit harder, but you've always got to be able to control it. So if you start to find that stability is challenging you, then you can always bring your hands onto the floor, or alternatively, you can rest your heels just for a pause at the top of the movement, just to realign your position before you extend back again. So you've got a few options to make the exercise easier or harder in every single way. You might start to feel like a little bit of shaking starts to come into the stomach muscle. That's a good thing. Let's take you back down to the floor, rest in your head, spine, and everything down again. We're going to bring your feet up off the floor with your knees directly above your hips. And what we're going to do is going to extend those hips away from you and back in again. So as you extend your hips, your heel goes down and drops towards the floor, and then alternate your legs. Remember, if you're looking for the harder progressions, go both legs at the same time, and that could be with a slight bend in your knees, or going with straight legs as well. So that's your two options that you can go for. I do have a third option, if you'd like to make it harder, which would be arms extended, shoulder blades lifted up, and then start to extend into those heel drops. So that is going to be your harder progression. Shoulder blades off the floor, both legs extending. So that's an option for anybody who wants to work yourself a little bit harder. I'm just going to go with a single heel drops these last 7 seconds. Keep yourself working. And relax there. Let's get ready for the glute bridges. So heels dug into the floor. And you can see I haven't got my feet flat onto the floor, but that is completely fine. Depends on your ankle mobility. If you've got the ankle mobility, you can keep your feet flat onto the floor. If you want to dig your heels in, You can start to work with the back of the legs just a little bit more as well. So remember the focus. How far can I extend my hips up? So whenever your mind starts to wander while doing this exercise, just think about extending your hips fully, get them up as high as possible, squeeze your butt cheeks together at the top of the movement. Really good, safe position for your spine. Really good conditioning work for your spine as well. This exercise has become very popular with weights in gyms recently. We actually have a strength machine which allows you to replicate this exact movement in a really nice, safe way where you don't even have to get down on the floor. That's called the glute trainer. So it's a really good exercise for building its strength as well as dynamic power as well. Okay, let's sit back up into a boat pose position. From here, arms are extended. Lower yourself back until you find a little bit of work being done by your core. Once you're in that position, lift one leg and the second leg, and then your option is to extend the body as you come back and bring yourself back into that boat pose as well. So again, it's quite a dynamic position. If you want to make it slightly easier at any time, then what you can do is you can rest your fingertips onto the floor, or you can always rest your heels down on the floor. Just take a second in between each repetition as well. So you pick the intensity that you want to work with. Big range of movement, bring yourself back into the center and then over. Keep extending your arms as well. The lower you go, the harder the exercise can be, but you've got to be able to maintain the control and come back up to that safe position again. And relax there. Okay, let's get rid of the mat. I'm going to keep it fairly nearby because we do have some press-ups in our third round exercise as well. So the first exercise we're going to have a look at is these jumping lunges. So what I'm going to do is get yourself down to a lunge position, and you're just going to literally move from side to side. So I'll do this face on. So you just literally down into that deep lunge position. And what you're doing is just a little bit of movement, traveling about 3 to 4 inches from side to side. Now, if this is too much for you, or it feels uncomfortable anyway, just take a step back lunge and just keep the repetitions quite high for me. So you've got 25 seconds to go. Keep the speed into this one, either with that step back lunge or that little jumping lunge just from side to side. But keep control, keep the intensity up. But just over 10 seconds of work to come. Now remember, again, we're doing one leg here. So just remember which foot is forwards. And then when we do the circuit, we'll do it on the opposite side on the second time. Okay, relax there. Let's take it down to the floor for press-ups. Now the first round of press-ups I'm going to do on my knees. You can go straight into your hands and feet if you'd like to as well. So you pick the intensity you want to work with. My goal for you though is to get your hips down towards the floor. So hips and chest lower, chin comes down close to the floor and then push yourself up. Want the whole body to move, not just your head. Just going close to the floor and come back out again. Make the arms do the work by bending at the elbows. Lower yourself down. Push yourself against the floor before you come back up. Doesn't matter how many you do. If you want to do full press-ups and get them quick, that's fine. But try and work with the depth. That's my key focus for you on this. Be strong as you push your whole body away from the floor. Deep into that position. Keep working on that shoulder mobility. And you'll get stronger from it. Okay, let's bring you back up to a standing position. Now, the last exercise that we're going to do today is called a breakdown. But don't forget, we are doing a second circuit of this third round. So a breakdown is in an athletic stance. So you've tilted from your hips, you're in this position like you would be an American footballer. I want you to run on the spot. Try and get as much speed as you can. So lifting one leg and then the other as quick as possible. Whenever I say the word go, you're going to touch the floor and then come back to that ready position for me. Okay, so let's get you moving as quick as possible. Go, touch the floor, come back to me as quick as possible. Go, touch the floor, come back to me. Get that range of movement going. I want your calves and your feet muscles to be working while you're doing this as well. So make sure that you get the foot completely off the floor. Go, touch the floor, come back. Every single time I shout that word, you get down there as quick as possible. Go, go, go. Oh, last 5 seconds now. Give it a little sprint to the end. Keep working as quick as you can. Go, touch the floor, come back, and relax there. Okay, let's do those 3 exercises again, but this time we're doing the opposite leg. So if you were lunging, make sure that you swap the feet over to either do that step back lunge, or the other alternative was that jumping lunge where you're moving from side to side. Let's get you ready in position. And then from here, let's get you moving. Keeping the back knee down close towards the floor. Remember, the option is that step back lunge, moving as quick as possible, getting the back knee down towards the floor still. So you've got two options, one with impact, one without impact. Both lunges, both working to give you better conditioning on your legs. Keep doing as much work as possible. You've got 15 seconds to go. Keep that speed up, keep that tempo. If you're doing those step back lunges, keep that speed as much as possible. Keep your back straight. Bring those feet together each time. Last 3, 2, 1. Relax there. Okay, let's take it down to the floor. Give their legs a little breather. Upper body. And then we'll come back down to the floor again. So, again, you've got options of being on your hands and knees or hands and feet. Starting in 3 seconds, as much range as possible. You can always alternate between your press-ups. So one on the knees, and then a full one as well. Let's get you moving. As much work as possible. You pick the depth, you pick the intensity. If we can get your chin, chest, and hips to the floor, be strong as you push out of that position again. Keep being strong, make the whole body like a plank of wood, push it off the floor in one movement. Just over 5 seconds to go. And relax there. Okay, let's bring you back up to a standing position. Now the last exercise we're going to do is we're going to do breakdowns again. So as quick feet as possible in this exercise. Let's get you in position. Athletic stance, 5 seconds before we go. Every time I shout out the words go, you're going to touch the floor and come back to me. Let's get you running on the spot then. Last chance to push your heart rate. So give me as much speed as possible. Give me the best workout that you can do today. Go. Touch and come back. Quick as possible. Go. I'm going to get your hips down when I say those words. Go. 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 Oh, 3 in a row. Now give me a bit of speed here. Give me running on the spot. Get as much work as possible. Go. 15 seconds now. It's going to feel like a long time. I know those legs are getting tired, especially after those jumping lunges. Just do as much as you can do. Push yourself. 5 seconds to go. Go. And relax there. Great job. Okay, I'm going to set that mat up. We've got a few yoga moves just to help you stretch out, take some tension away from the muscles that you've been working on. So just loosen up your body. When you feel comfortable, bring yourself down towards the floor. I'm going to go into a kneeling position, place my hands underneath my shoulders, and just allow my shoulders to roll back and lower my hips down towards the floor. I'm going to bring my eye gaze to where the ceiling and the walls meet. Now, I've got the feet tucked underneath my body, and I'm going to use those as I push against my hands and lift my hips high. Eyes look towards the toes, and just pedal the heels. You can bring the feet a little bit narrower. As you start to do this move, you're going to feel a deep stretch coming through the calves. Now just settle on that position. Lower your hips forwards, but this time I'm going to keep my knees off the floor, just so I can develop that stretch in the hips a little more. Lifting it high again. Excellent. Now from here, push back to downward facing dog. So eyes look towards the toes. Hold that position strong. Now, lifting one leg up off the floor, I'm going to swing it through up towards where my hand is. Now, if I haven't quite got close enough to my hand where I'd like to, if I can, physically move the foot or just wiggle it forwards, and I want you to reach your arm up high. Push the back leg away from the rest of the body so you lengthen and stretch through the muscles there. Reaching up with that high hand gives you a nice stretch all the way across the body. Now bring the hand inside your foot, step back to downward facing dog, and over to the opposite side. Again, just spend some time, get yourself set up in position, wiggle the foot if you need to, reach your hand high, push the back heel away again. Hold this position as you try to lengthen and stretch through, working all the muscles across your body. Now bring the hand down inside the foot, step back to downward facing dog again. Now this time I'm going to rest the knees onto the floor, and I'm going to sink my hips back towards my hips. Gives me a nice stretch all the way up through the front of the calves. So working through the front of the shin. Now I'm trying to think about walking my fingertips forwards and hopefully getting a deeper stretch around the outside of my shoulders, down the sides of my back. And that just allows my body to rest and restore. Now from here, what I'm going to do is bring yourself up to a kneeling position, tuck my toes under, and I'm going to put my weight through the back of my heels, roll up through my spine, bring myself back up to a standing position. Just shake out the body a little bit. Okay, let's go for a standing balance position here. We're going to go for a quadricep stretch, so the front of the thigh. Bring one foot into the palm of your hands, bring your knees together, have a slight bend in the standing foot, and just lengthen up through the spine. If you want to get a little bit more of a stretch through the front of the hip, push the foot into the palm of your hand, and think about pushing your hip forward slightly. If you felt like your hips did a lot of work and some of those core exercises in the middle of the workout, it's a nice stretch just to ease off any tension. Let's swap that over to the opposite side. Remember, you can always hold on to something if it feels a little bit more comfortable to keep your balance. Just hold that position. Again, extend through the hip if you can. Well done. Okay, let's bring it back to a standing position. Just loosen up for your body. Starting to bring your hands together. Think about a giant inflatable ball. I want you to think about blowing into that inflatable ball so your hands actually pull apart slightly. So your elbows just create a little bit more distance between them so you can stretch out through the back muscles. And to reverse this, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the hands behind you, lift your chin and chest up tall, get a stretch through the chest muscles, thinking about bringing your hands away from the rest of the body, and just relax there. Thank you very much for joining me for this Matrix Fitness live workout. My name's Matt. We'll be back on Thursday at 7:45 in the morning, 12 o'clock, and also 5 o'clock in the evening as well. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.